Krishna, Krishna, Welcome. God bless you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, everyone here and on the broadcast for our Tuesday meditation. There's a lot going on this time of year. Every December, it seems like we're closing chapters of our lives. We're moving forward to the new year. We're planning for greater experiences with the divine, fulfilling our dharma, being of service to others, finding our way through Maya, illusion and delusion. And one of the best things you can do is spend some time meditating. And not just closing your eyes, but actually communing with the divine. Actually sitting at the feet of the Divine Mother. That is something that you'll always take with you eternally. That is time well spent in building your direct communication with the divine. When we leave these bodies and we step into our new light body, it's composed of all the meditations that you do, all the prayers that you've said, every good and kind deed from every lifetime, from every universe. That is your light body. That is your eternal body. That is your real home. Your sanctuary, your place of peace. And in that light body, no matter what is going on in the world, what war, rumors of war, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, your sanctuary your safe place. Your place where you feel and know that the Divine Mother loves you. That she's got you. She's protecting you. She holds you and she watches over you. You see it, you feel it. So in this meditation today, take a moment and just release this whole year. Anything that's happened, anything that's holding you back, anything that wants to be the noise that holds you to this earth. And float up in the arms. Just gently allow yourself to go into your light body. Look through the eyes of your soul, the place of knowing, direct seeing. Go beyond what the mind might try to communicate. And then with your higher mind, your higher self, pierce all time and space. Go beyond the universe. Go into a place of your origin, where you originated from. The Absolute. It's unknowable by the mind, but you can feel it. And you know when you've been there. It's your sanctuary. In the name of the Christ, Jesus, the living Christ, in the name of Krishna, Vishnu, in the name of all the great ones in heaven and those who walk the earth, the living saints, the gurus and Buddhas and bodhisattvas, the ones that hold that clear light, that pure light, that God light. That healing light. We invite you here into this room. We invite you here into this sanctuary. We call to you, O blessed angels, and all ministering spirits, to come, lift us, transport us. Come, O Divine Mother. Come, all the Divine Mothers of Heaven, east and west. We are here to be with you. Coming back. Feeling the stillness and the peace all around you, and allow your body, your physical body, to absorb, to drink the nectar of all this energy, all this God energy. And see your body as a sponge, absorbing and drinking and containing this Christmas energy. Now you hold the key for a beautiful Christmas for others. The pure Christic energy of Christ, the spirit of love, of service, the anointing by the angels, who we call into this room now, the Christmas angels, the holy ones, who bring joy to billions, to bless each one. Each one of these great souls, here and on the broadcast, with a new light, a new joy, a love bubbling over in joy. Come, O Divine Mother, in the form of the Holy Spirit, the living fire of joy and love and truth. Ignite each of us with the clear vision, with the power to transform darkness into light, fear into peace, hatred into love. Give us that power. Give us that light. Give us that vision that the Divine Mother holds for humanity. Now each of us in this room hold keys, codes, mastery in some area that you can give to others in this room, others in your family, others that you care about, as you tap into your causal body of light, of the totality of all the good that you are. The codes, the key to the kingdom is yours to give, to share, if you choose. Take a moment and allow what comes to you, the good, the vision that comes to you. Let it flow from you. Now take a moment to absorb what others that are here, the great, great souls that are here, are giving you, and the great, great souls in the heaven worlds who now are releasing their codes, their mastery, their ability to share these truths, these understandings that they hold, and allow your higher self to accept everything and more. I receive. Say it. Feel it. All the light, all the love, all that God wishes, God desires, God sees for me right now. The mastery over heaven and earth. Quickly go through the names of your family. Let the angels take their names from you as you transmit to them this light, this power, this understanding, this love, this peace. Teach them how to connect to the divine. Anchor them in the heart of the Divine Mother. Protect them with all your love and might. Every being that's connected to you, visible and invisible, now shine your light from your higher self, from the highest heaven, and anchor it here on earth, the Earth Mother, and allow that light to so charge the earth with God energy that flowers will appear where you walk in the future. We ask the wind to take these prayers beyond time and space, to every temple in the heaven worlds, to every saint and Buddha, to every Christed one, and to the living flame of Almighty God. And creation itself, these prayers create the answer and return to earth. Find yourself in your body again. And know that this Christmas is going to be different. This Christmas is going to come through you. This Christmas joy and power is real because of you. And when you're ready, take a breath, come into your body. That was a 45-minute meditation. Went by in a minute. Who would have thought meditation would be so fun?
I have nothing to say yet.
Nothing?
Yet.
I saw you transmitting those codes.
Yes, well, there's nothing to say about that.
Someone take the mic from me, please. Lisa, do you have anything? Share. You are gone.
Really fast.
I think the masters have said that this time of year, because people are playing Christmas music and they're thinking about the miracle of love, that really what Jesus represents is he taught that God is love and forgiveness, and he would die for other people. He would die for us all. He would die for one of us, the lost sheep. That people, before long ago, we had to sacrifice ourselves to feed the gods. Then all of a sudden, this new understanding that God will die for us. It was like one of the biggest shifts in the history of the world. That God would die for us. For me, for just one person. And so, because that happens this time of year, it opens up so much energy, so much spiritual light, so much good coming to the earth. And those movies too, Miracle on 34th Street, and all the Christmas, it's different. This is a different month. Things are happening. Things are shifting. It's a great time to pray and to meditate and connect, because the connection is strong this time of year. It's so clear. People, they don't honk their horn as often. They'll say, "You take the parking spot." No, you take it. It's just like, it's a different thing. It's just this. You had that experience? Okay, good.
Oh gosh.
Is it on?
Testing. Well, if you've been to Costco during the holidays. Oh, my son and I went to get a pumpkin pie, like 2 days before Christmas, or 2 days before Thanksgiving. And the idea was I'm going to drop him off. He was going to run and get the pie, and I was going to drive around, because it's really, you turn around the corner and there's 12 cars in line to turn. And you're just going, ooh. Anyway, so I drove in, the only place I could get in, which is up by the front, and it just dawned on me that I hadn't brought my phone. How's he going to contact me? He said, "Call me," So I thought, I have to park, dear. Anyway, so I just drove down this thing, and there's this guy, this big blue truck. And I said, "You can have it." He says, "No, you have it." So I got the parking place. True story.
Christmas miracles. They happen all the time.
It was a Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle at Costco.
Did you like it, right?
Linda.
The only thing I could say is that I used your parking prayer the other day. Dennis's parking prayer is, "Mother Mary, full of grace, save me a perfect parking space." or something similar, close to that. And Dulcie and another friend, we were meeting down at this neat little vegan restaurant in La Jolla. And the other gal got there first. And she's just, you know, just so negative. Oh, the problem with La Jolla is there's no parking. And I said, no, there's a perfect parking spot for you. Mother Mary, full of grace, save us a perfect parking space. That's what you need to do. You'll be parked by the time we get there. And then we came in, and we did get a parking place. It wasn't as close because the person I was with did not have as much faith in it and thought they had to grab the first one they saw. And I said, you know, you're probably foregoing the parking spot that we just, you know, manifested for you.
Carlos.
I know. Look at,
Let's hear what you have to say.
No Christmas stories, no Christmas miracle yet?
Ascot on. Very fancy.
And then you'll talk right after Uri-Ma talks. Yes, it'll start a conversation here.
this
Well,
past-
if somebody has a question, I'm happy to answer it. I don't really have a lot to, somebody tell me a subject.
Any questions? It's an opportunity.
What do you think happens to people that commit suicide?
Ah, that's a very good question. Well, nothing happens without the knowledge and consent of the higher self. Nothing happens without the knowledge and consent of the higher self. So I think that, like all of us, when we pass over, we do a life review of where we, not in a judgmental way, but where we excelled at what our intention was and where we could have done better. And then we think about, or with the help from our spirit guides and soul cluster family, we figure out, okay, well, what do we need to learn next? You know, did we learn our lesson that we chose for this incarnation? So my experience is that before we come into this lifetime, or any given lifetime, we sit around with our soul cluster and probably with our oversoul and higher self and figure out what our main lesson is going to be and what our purpose is, which in my world is always to learn what it is that we need to learn to move ourselves along our path towards enlightenment. I think that's always our purpose. How we do it is, you know, like my way was as a spiritual teacher. That wasn't my purpose. That's how I was learning my lessons to go to the highest level of consciousness that I could get to in this lifetime. And then we choose our parents that we think are going to, at least one of them. We usually make a contract with one of our parents, and sometimes both, but primarily one. And that's why in many families, one child is closer to one parent and one child is closer to a different parent. And then we choose whether we're going to be male or female. We choose where we're going to, what era we're going to go in. You know, we could go forwards and backwards in time because all time is really simultaneous. My oldest daughter taught me that when she was 2. It was a shock to me, but that's another story. Then we come down into the body and we become the directors of that script that we have planned out. And of course, all good stories, all good novels, all good movies, all good TV programs have a villain. That's how people learn and grow, is from having the villain. So we also choose our villain and how that is going to push us to learn our lesson. So we come to the body and we become the directors of that script. And we can add a 4th act, we can subtract a 4th act, we can hopefully decide to learn our lessons as easily and effortlessly and enjoyably and effectively and efficiently as possible. All the E's, much more important than the R's. And meanwhile, we're bringing through the highest consciousness or highest source level to help us through all of that. And the villains are all part of that. And, we get to decide how we're going to handle that. The more conscious we become, the less disruptive the villains are. Something else I was going to say about that? So I think that's no different if people commit suicide. I think that there's more probably assistance in helping them figure out what they need to do next. But I personally don't experience a purgatory. I think that, we all go to the next level of consciousness that we can go to. And another side note, when my father was an atheist, and when he passed, he was also a football hero. He played for Stanford, and even in high school made the front page of the San Francisco Chronicle, as the quarterback, and big to-do, right? Full scholarship to Stanford, play football, blah, blah, blah. So when he passed, and I would go up to see him, he was in a football huddle with all the other football heroes that didn't figure out they were, still had consciousness. They were just in this huddle. Nobody was calling any plays. They were just there. So for 6 months, I'd be going, Dad, you can move to the light, head to the light. And he's just in the huddle waiting for, somebody to call the play. And so after 6 months, I finally went up there one time, and his spirit is lying on this table, like a Reiki table or something it looked like. And all these angels or spirit guides are around him, putting their what seemed like hands on him. And I'm saying, excuse me, but he's deceased. He's like passed. He's like dead. And then they said, yes, we know. And I said, well, what are you doing? And they said, oh, we're doing soul soothing. I said, oh, what's that? And they said, oh, well, that's when a spirit doesn't realize that they still have consciousness and they can't move forward. And so we're helping him awaken to that so he can move on. So then, as a sideline to all of that, a couple years ago, Lori and I were at one of the fairs, the psychic fairs, expos, and what's her name? Hollister Rand. Lori wanted us to go see Hollister Rand, who was part of her teacher to talk to the people who'd passed over. I'm just sitting there in the audience, and she picks out me and says a number of things, and I end up deciding to get a reading from her. And she said, my dad came through and said everything I told him when he was alive was the truth. And that when he was alive, and I was telling him all that, past lives, and all of those things, that he thought it was like I was speaking another language. So, all of those things that I shared with him that I was just sharing, he realized. And one more story about that. My grandmother, his mother, was a very, very, very unhappy woman, and she found fault with everyone and everything all of the time, except for the animals. No human was immune. She was critical, said horrible, horrible things to everyone. And so at age almost 100, about a month before she turned 100, my sister asked her, Grandma, what have you learned in this lifetime at almost 100 years that you have to pass on to everybody else? Oh, that was such a hard question for my grandmother. She thought. She said, well, I guess I've learned to see the good in people. I don't know how my sister didn't burst out laughing. And so for the next 2 weeks, she was wonderful to everybody, and then she passed. And so I was telling my father that story, and he said, so are you saying your grandmother was a slow learner? I'm saying, well, maybe, but she learned it before she passed. It took her almost 100 years, but she finally got it. We should all be so grateful. We should all be so blessed.
I have my mom's story I want to share. So my mom, Carlos knew my mom. She suffered because she didn't have enough money. She was on Social Security, and she wanted to do so much. She wanted to do so much with life. She was really, wanting to go places and buy things and travel and all sorts of things. Well, she got a sudden illness, and then she passed very quickly. And then I had this dream, and I went and we were in my grandparents' house, and my mom was now living in my grandparents' house, and she says, well, I'm going to be buying this house. We're going to go to Hawaii, and I'm going to get all new, furniture or whatever. And I said to Mom, I says, that costs a lot of money. Are you sure you have enough money, Mom? She says, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And she said, come here, I'm going to show you something. And in the backyard was this tree, and the tree had one of those knots in it. And she stuck her hand in the knot, and she pulled out all this money. And just to make the story fun, I said, when are we going to Hawaii? I was so amazed, and she was so happy in this world, this beautiful heaven world that she was, where she had everything, all the money. It was an infinite supply. Anything she ever wanted to buy, the Divine Mother was going to supply for her until she's completely happy. So
money does really grow on trees.
yes.
Or in them, as the case may be.
Yes, it was a money tree. Go ahead, Lisa.
Recently had a lot of relatives, as I'm sure most of you did, and we watched Christmas movies, and it was A Wonderful Life. I haven't seen it for 20 years easily, so it was like a new story. Anyway, but the point is that George Bailey has all these things happen, and it came to mind when you were talking about it, about the villain Potter. And the thing about the whole story is, which I'd completely forgotten, you guys probably don't know it, but the angel Clarence comes when he's trying to commit suicide and says, okay, why don't you see what it's like if you'd never been born? And he had done all these wonderful things in his life. He'd provided houses for people at, reasonable rates, and, all these kind people that he'd nurtured, all these friends. And when he got this opportunity to see what it'd like when he wasn't there, he had never been born. His brother dies. This old man that he saved from, poisoning someone went to jail, and, he went to the place where they had their subdivision. It was, I don't even know what it was called, but it was a graveyard, you know what I mean? And the streets were lined with bars, and, where his savings and loan used to be was a dance hall or something like that. And it was just like, it made me really think about how, we've all done a lot. And, and sometimes you have bad times. And how if, just keep that perspective, if you hadn't been here, can you imagine? You wouldn't have had your wonderful children, wouldn't have created all these connections for people, and with the work that you do and all the wonderful collaboration that you do, and it's just a really good reminder for this kind of year. I thought that was just such a great story.
I'm going to watch that movie again.
It's
I watch it every year. I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? It's a Wonderful Life. It's just like,
Make sure you watch the whole thing.
yeah, whole thing.
Yeah.
It is, but when you,
Every year.
it's a classic, and James Bailey, his
James Stewart?
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart's in that
And he was, I can't remember, George Bailey. But it's just like that villain, how that villain, prompted him to do all this stuff, because he was cheating the people by giving them high rents, and, they were living in crummy conditions. And his father started Bailey Savings and Loan, or whatever it was called, and he followed his father's tradition, but it was reluctantly. He was pushed into this thing. He had all these dreams about traveling the world, and if you watch it again, it's important, because he ends up doing his highest and best in that lifetime, and it's kind of like we each have those opportunities, and sometimes you get pushed into them, So anyway, accept it and see what happens.
Any other good movie recommendations?
Miracle of 34th Street is much better than I I remember it being. It was really good. Make you cry. Okay. And it's kind of like we each have those opportunities. And sometimes.
I'm just seeing if there's any questions online. If anybody has any questions online, type it into the chat.
To who? Carlos, pass it down. Just give it to Carlos. You can just hold it for a minute. Christmas presents. Good.
How can I connect to the spirit world?
Easily, because you're already wired to make that connection, and you already know that. So you're asking me a redundant question.
Oh, I don't know how to do it. I can't
Clo-
contact anybody, or I can't hear anything or
Okay,
anything.
It's because you're a feeler. You're not a seer. You're not a hearer. You're a feeler. So if you close, we all have a different way that we connect to our extrasensory information. Seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, knowing it. And all of those ways are right. It's just whatever way comes to, we're born with a way that we naturally do that. And so yours is feeling. So if you close your eyes and you go into a centered, calm state, and you asked to feel the spirits around you, to feel your higher self connection, to feel your spirit guides, you're going to do that. And instead of trying to make yourself see something or hear something or know something, I think you have a little bit of knowingness also, but I think primarily you're a feeler. And also, right before you go to sleep, when you're in that half awake, half asleep state, if you say to yourself, it's on the causal plane. So all of us here go to the causal plane when we go to sleep, but elevated spirits, old souls go to the causal plane. It's called the causal plane because that's where we cause things to happen from. Most people who aren't on spiritual paths go to the astral plane, which is sort of like a mini mock-up of the physical plane. So tonight on the causal plane, I'm going to send my spirit out to make a soul or being, whatever you want to call it, make a very strong connection with my higher self. And I'm going to ask for a message that I need to hear the most right now. And if you keep saying that to yourself while you're going to sleep. If you wake up during the night, state that again. And within 3 nights, you will for sure get that message. You can tell yourself to remember it when you wake up in the morning.
What is the message I say?
Tonight on the causal plane, I'm going to send do you use the word spirit, soul, or being? Which of those?
I say spirit.
Spirit. Tonight on the causal plane, I'm going to send my spirit out to make a strong connection with my higher self. And I'm going to ask to receive a message that I need to receive right now. And just keep thinking that over and over and over again while you're going to sleep. If you wake up during the night, you state that again. You keep doing that every night until you get that message. You can also add, and I'm going to remember it in the morning if you're a person that leaps out of bed without, remembering anything. Yeah, I know. Okay, so add that part.
And when you say feeling, do you mean like a knowing?
Okay, so do you get goosebumps? Do you get chicken skin?
I mean, yeah, like if I'm watching a movie or something. And it's
Yeah,
like,
see, that's feeling. That's feeling. Yeah.
You're an empath.
Yes.
I am.
Okay, give her the mic.
So I'm a feeler also, and I can also see that you're an empath. You know what an empath is? It's when you're really sensitive to the energies around you, but you've also learned to shut it out. So you've got a lot of walls around you. So you might also work on right, or just releasing them, at least like when you're in meditation, just seeing those kind of dissolve so that you can open up to what you are feeling. When you're a feeler, it's kind of like a combination of different things because you're going to kind of feel no. You know what I mean? You're going to feel no, or sometimes you can kind of feel, I call it a feel-see. because you get the feeling first, but then an image might come or a knowingness might come behind it. But, continue to work on grounding yourself and trusting the information that's coming through. It also feels like you don't trust it, and so that's part of the issue. Just really like tune into your gut, because that's where your feeling is going to come in. And the more that you do that, it's like tuning into, your favorite food versus a food that you hate. How does one make you feel versus the other? One you're really excited about, right? Ooh, yay, yum, yum. The other one, oh my God, gross. You get that feeling in your stomach, yeah? And so that's like your guide, kind of, for feeling the difference between something that feels like it's open to go do and then something that feels like, this isn't a good choice for me.
And your gut never lies. It doesn't know how to lie, where our brain can imagine all kinds of things and trick us into different scenarios, but your gut never lies.
Yeah. What about with negative things? Is it more positive versus
It's your
negative?
ego when it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your higher self. So I was just saying, it's your ego, okay? Everybody thinks your ego is this, oh, I'm so great. No, your ego is the one who goes, you can't do that. You're not the one who's supposed to be doing that. You're not as good as the one next door. That's your ego too. So, and it speaks very loudly. So when you hear or when you connect with spirit, it's always positive. There is never a negative that comes out from spirit to you.
Like a warning?
Possibly there could be a warning, but it's always said in a way that will not scare the pants off of you. Okay? They are very, very careful about that because they don't want to start something, They don't want you to be upset and have your whole system. And that's, well, look what happened when you're scared. I mean, your whole system goes crazy. Right. Then they can even less get in touch with you because you have to be in a very calm and connected space to be able to hear your guides. That's why meditation is so critical.
I would like to add to the spirit definition that she's talking about. This room is filled with pictures of individuals that have gone through the same thing we're going through in past lifetimes. And I mean, like Lori said, there's no time. But they have reached levels of attainment where they finally transcend the earth state. They call it the ascension. And for example, Jesus. They are available to help you because they look back and they know how hard it is. And finding someone that you resonate with, before I got really connected, I read a lot of books, and you find, wonderful connections with people, with masters. Saint Germain, that was my first book, was Saint Germain. And they will help you, and you just ask, help me. And it's that, like, believing, like she said, that you are worthy, that it's okay. And we all need a little bit of advice, and telling the difference between the ego and the spirit, whatever you want to call it. Saint Germain is just a name. It means holy brother. And, there's many masters that are available. Mother Mary is my first spiritual book that I read was about having tea with Mother Mary in the morning. And it's a practice that I still do now, but not necessarily Mother Mary. There's tons of lay masters, and you can choose them and talk to them, and they're not jealous. They'll pull up another chair, And it's a wonderful experience because we do require help. I mean, maybe you should tell her about your spirits, dear. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Got to give her the mic.
Because it's a wonderful example.
Yes, well, I work with the archangels and the ascended masters, and in particular, my main guide is Archangel Michael. My main healer guide is Archangel Raphael. I work with Archangel Azrael, who stands over that shoulder, and Archangel Raziel, who stands over this shoulder. Raziel is my manifester. He does manifestation. Azrael helps me to connect with the departed. And then my master teacher is Yeshua, or known as Jesus. So I hear him all the time. He doesn't introduce himself. I'll hear him and I'll be down on myself about something, and I'll hear him come in and say, Lori, you're human. You're human. Don't be so hard on yourself. If you were perfect, you wouldn't be on the earth plane. You know, just take it easy. Or he'll say something like, I know. I've been there. I've had that same feeling. I've walked the same path. You know, and he'll give me some advice. The other guides, they talk to me as well. They're always trying to cheer me up. They're always trying to, I know they're there and protecting me. I know if I get a boo-boo, Raphael's right there, you know, watching out for me. And I mean, I work with others like Metatron and Saint Germain. I've heard them at times when, in fact, I'll tell you a short story. I was back in New York, and that's where I'm born and raised. And my mother had passed, and I was there working to try and clean up and clear up and, you know. And I had some issues with my youngest brothers, who are twins. And they just, I don't know, money. You know, it was just, and I was there doing good stuff, but they was like, they're examining everything I do. And they said some things that really, really got me upset. I mean, I was like, and all of a sudden, I felt somebody walk next to me, put their arm on my left side, put their arm through my arm and say, walk with me. And it was Saint Germain. And he said, listen, they don't know what they say. They don't know what they do. You are not what they say. You are not what they think. You are so far beyond them, they couldn't possibly catch up to you. But just know. Just let it go. Let go whatever they said that's upsetting you, because you don't need it. It's not true. So this is the type of thing that happens when you're connected. Now, I'm clairaudient, obviously. I hear them very well. And I'm claircognizant, so I know things. I do have some clairsentience, where I feel, and I do have some clairvoyance. But for me, clairvoyance and clairsentience are secondary to the auditory and the claircognizant. So, and all I can tell you, if you want to develop this, I mean, there are plenty of places that have classes, you know, that are not expensive. I don't know, they have classes at where you go, mediumship classes, the church,
Quest Haven?
Quest Haven. Do they have classes there?
I think they have like a ministerial program. I think, I don't
Okay.
know. I haven't looked into it though.
Okay. At Harmony Grove, they have classes in being, you know, mediumship and healing. And it always helps to be in a classroom with others, because I will tell you, when you show the effort to your team that you want to learn this and you're going out to try and make a connection, things are going to start happening. It's sort of like the effort that you put out, they put into developing you.
It's a magical world.
It's even. It's even. Okay? So the more you put out, I mean, if you sit there and go, I want this, it's not going to come. You have to show them that you're willing to step out and to do what you need to do to learn.
I love working with the angels. They're
good people, honey.
they're very funny.
They are funny.
They're so full of joy. So light working is light working. It starts with prayer. It starts with, wanting to, use your soul abilities to help others. And then once you decide that, and you have, keep talking, keep that prayer wheel going. But then look for angel signs.
So realize we were all where you are at some point. We were all where you are at some point.
Well, only click at the median age is, wait a minute. Oh, look, I'm to the top of it, so I can say that. But you're getting this, or maybe not in this lifetime, maybe a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, okay.
And so we did all of these things that we're suggesting, and we all, were led about the right path for us and the right way for us to get evolved and get with our spirit and the divine and to evolve into higher and higher levels of consciousness. That's why we all have things to share with you, is because we had to discover that on our own or in a class or whatever. But we first had to have that intention. I'm willing to open up to spirit. That's my desire. That's my, way of my next step in the world.
And the question is, why are you opening up to spirit? And she already said it, to help other people. Because when you help other people, as Lori spent, gosh, how many years?
45.
Yeah. Helping people. Have a talk with her sometime. Anyway, and, as you help others, you help yourself. You balance karma, and you create these wonderful light connections, because we really are one. And the only one thing I wanted to say is that I find standing in a hot shower really helpful for a bunch of reasons. That you can feel it. No, they don't see that. Anyway, they see your soul. Anyway, and you feel the light, the light, yeah. The water comes down, and very often in my meditations, it feels the same. It's the light. And expect it, accept it, believe it. And when the doubters come, and they will, it's part of the thing. You have to, either fight it off yourself or call for reinforcements. Archangel Michael, help me,
Well, when that doubting Thomas comes up, and like Lisa said, it will, you go, okay, thank you for your opinion. Now you can step back. I'm going to go to a higher authority, whatever that may be for you. So you don't have to listen. You just go, yeah, okay, you shared, now move. And also when fear comes up, because when you start opening up to your real psychic abilities, people get scared when you start getting this download of all of this stuff, right? And, fear believes it's trying to keep us safe. It's the only thing that we're born with. We're born with, a fear of falling off things, for instance. And so the fear comes up because it's trying to protect you. So you say to the fear, thank you for sharing. I'm really grateful. I understand your concern. But right now I think I've got this handled. And you can step on this side. And if I need you, fear, you're the first fear I'll call upon. Otherwise, just stay over there.
In short, try not to react.
Yeah. There's a great anagram, which is fear is. There's a great anagram, which is fear is false evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where it is. Anybody else want to say something? Oh, okay.
Look, there's plenty of good movies that inspire habits.
I just want to agree with Lisa about the shower. There's something about water. There's something about, like if I was in a like a difficult conversation with somebody, or I had a difficult day, I would take a shower and it just washed the energy right off instantly. It's amazing. It's a miracle. And in showers too, when I close my eyes and I let the water hit my face and things, I just close my eyes and it's hitting my spiritual eye. It's transmitting at the same time. Like there's something coming through that I can, it's like an experience of some kind. And I get a lot of inspiration just taking a shower. I always take a shower before every meditation, and I'll almost every time I will get a little glimpse, like a little sentence that, okay, we're going to have this topic today. I don't know how they do it, but they keep coming up with different topics. So, showers are powerful spiritual tool. They have a thing called a samadhi bed or something where you lay in the water and it's full of salt. Have you ever heard of that? And it's the exact temperature of the body. And so you're like floating, and it's sensory deprivation. Yeah, so you don't see anything, you don't hear anything. You're floating in this tank, right? And then people have all sorts of expanded experiences in those samadhi tanks.
Just don't do it if you're claustrophobic.
They
Yeah.
have those floating things in Carl's Habit. I don't know if they're the samadhi ones.
Yeah, those are the ones. So
They say that you can get into some deep meditation in those.
yeah,
They're like pods.
I've never done it, but
Do it.
I know I want to try it too. But it sounds amazing. People I've talked to, a friend of mine's son does it, and I go, wow, he's. I think he was a Tibetan in a past life, his son. Anyways, showers. We covered a lot of stuff tonight. Let's just close it again. And I think what the angels were saying tonight is, Christmas through us. They released some new codes, the answers to things that we were working on collectively and individually. And we also hold the codes for our family, for bringing, this Christmas, this energy, this Christ light through, this crystal clear light through to others this Christmas. It always happens every year, it's a beautiful thing that we can be that for somebody, one person. Divine Mother, we are so grateful for this evening, for this fellowship, and for this community of cosmic beings, great souls, community, friendship, knowing that we don't walk this path alone, that we have people we can talk to, that we can learn from. It is the greatest joy. Thank you so much, O Christmas angels. Thank you so much, beloved Jesus. Thank you so much, Mother Mary. Thank you so much, Saint Joseph. And all the ones that hold the light in every true religion of love and peace. And so it is. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone on the broadcast. We're signing off. Tomorrow is a special event. Shakti Durga will be here in person with some, who knows what's going to happen. She asked to come. I said, I invite you. I invite you. She heard I had a temple. So I think the Divine Mother has something in store for tomorrow. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Good night and God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the evening.